Hey everyone, welcome to Fundsheet. Fundsheet is a software for PE and VC funds that automates data collection, allows you to benchmark your portfolio, run reporting and generate insights, track cash flows from your fund and calculate KPIs like IRR, multiple invested capital, and DPI, as well as being a centralized data point for all of your team, which is a central source of truth. Think board notes, cap tables, exit plans, entry multiples, etc. As you can see here, we've got our dashboard, which is a snapshot view of your fund, some key investment information like how much you've invested at the fund, your J-curve chart, your multiple invested capital over time, etc. The first thing that you want to go and do when you first set up in Fundsheet, however, is you set up your first fund. So let's go ahead and go funds setup. Click add funds, fill in your form. As you can see, just type fund name, currency, and commitment, and you're all set to go. But you can also add in custom fields anytime you set up a fund or a company. Next step is set up your company. So let's go ahead and go to companies, fund of funds. You can see we've got all of our portfolio companies, which could be PE, venture capital investments, or even fund of fund investments. This is the next level down from funds. Again, same process, click add to add a company. Scroll down, type in your information, so the name of the company, currency, even add a logo. And from here, we've got all of our custom fields, which we can customize, delete, disable, etc. This could be how much you paid for it, where is it located, what does the company do, but you can add as many fields as you want. You can also bulk upload these. So when you actually customize your fields, you click export, it'll download in Excel, then click upload, drag and drop, and all of your companies will be uploaded instantly. You can also manage cap tables for each company as well. And we have quite a detailed cap table where you can track it by individual round, but also classes of equity and see the ownership percentage of each company. Once you've set up your company, that's great. Now we can start adding the next level down of the hierarchy, which is metrics. So for each portfolio company, you can add different metrics for different companies. So for company one, could be revenue and EBITDA. And company two, it could be headcount, FTE, anything you like, really. And this becomes a module where you can really track each of these underlying performers of a company's basically the trends that will drive your investment returns later on. This is your leading indicators. So we can track trends in revenue, EBITDA, etc., or any custom metric that you've collected. And we can quickly view this monthly, quarterly, yearly versus prior year, prior month. We've even got multiple currencies as well if you're collecting data from your portfolio company in a different currency to your fund reporting. So how do you set up metrics? Let's go ahead and do that over here. Let's click metrics. We can choose metrics from a database, or we can set up our own custom metrics. We've got a database of commonly used metrics, so you can really quickly set up metrics across all of your portfolio really quickly. And we can also help facilitate the data collection process from your portfolio companies. So if you want to request data over here, let's click request data. We can now send a new form. We can choose a date that we're collecting the data from. So let's say March, and we're going to collect it for all of our companies, or maybe just one, and due in 5 days. So now this is going to send out a confirmation request to the portfolio company CFO or founder. They're going to receive an email, and you can see it's just gone out now. And we can also see the status of that form. If I click over here, the view, it'll show you what it looks like from their end. And the founder can actually go in and they can type over the top, or they can even upload an Excel file and drag and drop, and it'll update all of these metrics. So you can export it, upload it, or they can just type over the top, click submit, and it'll flow through to our metrics module. We can also automate this process so it sends out every month, every quarter, etc. So you can send a recurring reminder. So you don't need to go in and manually send a request every single time. So now that we've set up our metrics and let's say we've got all of our data filled, we can now start to compare our metrics across the portfolio. And we can actually use this as a tool to look for outliers, trends across all of our portfolio companies and derive insights from that. So you can see I've got revenue selected here, but I can also choose from any other metric that I've set up. And it's going to show the data from all of your portfolio companies in the fund and also the trend for each company over that period. So moving on, the next level down of information in the system, now that we've set up our funds, number one, below that, our companies and fund of funds investments, below that, the metrics for each company or fund of fund. And then finally is our cash flows, which is how much is the fund invested in each company, what is it worth, and then calculating the IRR multiple invested capital for each of those companies. So in the cash flows module, we can see each of the companies that we've set up. We can see all of the cash flow information, right, which is all of the investments we've made, any realizations, but also the current valuation of those investments. And we'll calculate those key fund KPIs for you. So this information comes in two places. Number one, by uploading a general ledger list of transactions, which is really just uploading an Excel file or manually adding transactions with basically dates, amounts of each investment you've made. But you can also upload fund expenses here. The other level there is your valuations, which we've got a standalone module called the NAV module, or net asset value. And this is where for each portfolio company or even investment in each portfolio company, you can value each company quarterly or on a historical basis. And we can see this is how it's calculating IRR multiple invested capital by changing that input. You can also add multiple users to the system, so you can add members of your team. You can control which modules they can access, which portfolio companies they can see. So it's really transparent, but it's also really controllable in terms of privacy and ensuring people don't see something they shouldn't. Now that you've got all the data in the system, this is when we can start running reports and gaining insightful information from them. So, for example, maybe we want to run a company report. So, for Mining Tech, one of our portfolio companies, we can see cash flow information like how much we've invested to date, how much it's worth, multiple invested capital, etc. We can see all of the qualitative information that we've uploaded when we first added this company, just over here. And you can see all of our custom fields down here, how much we paid, where is it located, etc. And then we'll see our metrics data. So we'll be able to see in a dynamic way, monthly, quarterly data for each of your portfolio companies. And you can see now it's on a quarterly basis. So all of your information is really in one place and it's all instant. We can also run like a fund report as well. And this is where you can see similar information, but at the aggregated fund level. You can even run this by individual LP. But you can see in Fund 1, where all of our investments currently sit, we can see the aggregated amount we've invested. We can see our MOIC and IRR charts. We can see it broken down by individual company. We can see deployment over time and various other things. We can also compare our portfolio. So we can benchmark each of our investments within the fund, so each of our portfolio companies across different metrics. So it could be, for example, multiple invested capital each quarter, so you can see the trend. It could be a bubble chart, so we can see for each portfolio company, IRR and multiple invested capital. And we can also see like multiple invested capital over time. We can also change this to different metrics and change the companies and funds, etc. We can also run various other reports. I won't go through all of them. We can run like a deployment chart so you can see how you've actually allocated your capital across different variables, like vintage, so you can look vintage risk or currency risk for hedging risk. And you can also run LP reports. So you can run actual custom reports where you can add in like a fund report and then a company report behind it. Let's go June 2024 quarter, and we'll run for every company in Fund 1, and we'll give it a name test report. So we can actually run this report, and it's going to generate a fund report at the front and then basically a company report for every single portfolio company behind it. And you'll actually be able to send this out to our portfolio companies from Fundsheet. So there you have it. There's Fundsheet in a nutshell. Really easy to use and really drives transparency and information.